This is the 2006 Selection Sunday Show. Coach Jim Withers and the Duquesne Dukes have done it. Here we are with an 18-11 record, and we are Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament champions. Conference Tournament champions for the first time since the 1977 season. Duquesne has not had a winning season since the 1994 season entering this year. The experts didn't expect much of a change, very low expectations for the Dukes entering this season. Had ourselves a really slow start to the year, began the season 0-3, improved throughout the season. Felt like we had ourselves a chance here entering the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament, but we weren't supposed to make a run. We were a real dark horse entering this, and we made a run for sure all the way to the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament Championship. Went up against the Temple Owls, trailed by as much as 9 in the first half here, but fought back, took the lead, and did not give it up. We are able to win it 66-58, and the Duquesne Dukes from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania have done it. City going crazy for them, Duquesne going to March Madness for the first time since the 1977 season. What a Cinderella run here in the Atlantic 10 tournament play here for the Duquesne Dukes here in March. Unbelievable here for Duquesne. Let's take a final look here at the tournament bracket. In the Atlantic 10, seeing the results of the first round, Richmond a close win over St. Louis. This game here didn't look like we were going to get out of the first round. It looked like Salle was going to cruise in this one. Had a 13-point lead, just over 5 minutes left. We stormed back, played our hearts out. Thrilling finish there, took the lead with just a couple seconds left. LaSalle, a long shot at the buzzer, didn't fall for them. Huge comeback win, moving on. George Washington blowing out St. Bonaventure. Xavier getting the win over Fordham. And then Xavier losing by 1 against UMass. Temple winning by 3 over George Washington. We were able to take down the host Dayton Flyers here on their home court. They beat us earlier in the season. Not this time, 7-point win, 64-57. Charlotte took care of Richmond, 65-52. Then going up against Charlotte, a team that absolutely blew us out the second to last game of the regular season when we played them on the road. Here we are playing them in Dayton, big underdogs against the number 22 ranked team. We were able to take down Charlotte 77-67, 10-point win there, stunning them and moving on to the championship game where we took on Temple, who defeated UMass 58-49. Temple a 9-point lead in the first half. We overcame it, ended up winning it 66-58. And here we go, Duquesne Dukes go to the NCAA tournament for the first time since the 1977 season, and here we've got ourselves Selection Sunday Show. Let's check it out and see where the Duquesne Dukes will be heading.
Every year in this country, the tournament adds life to spring, but it's not until the brackets are filled that March Madness springs to life. The map of the madness, the brackets, are only moments away from bringing the tournament to life. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Welcome to the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show. I'm joined here at the anchor desk by my partner, Clark Kellogg. All right, get your pencils and your brackets ready. We're ready to bring you the exclusive live announcement of the seedings and the pairings for this tournament. First, some background details. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. There are 34 at-large bids. An opening round game will be on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. Before we get to the unveiling of this year's brackets, let's take a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. We have a couple of changes in the rankings this week. One team made a huge move in the poll. The Oklahoma Sooners jumped all the way from the number 16 spot to number 10. They'll certainly be trying to keep that momentum going into the tournament. Also, a new team has broken into the top 25. The Kentucky Wildcats break into the poll as the number 21 team. And there you have it, the final top 25 poll of the season. Now, let's talk about what everyone else in the country has been discussing for the past few weeks. The teams on the bubble. These are the 10 teams that may or may not be on their way to the big dance. Clark, any teams that jump out at you here on this list?
The Kansas Jayhawks are certainly wishing they'd done more during the regular season, but it's too late to do anything about that now. They've just got to sit back and hope.
Point well taken, but they're not the only team sweating it out right now.
The Texas Tech Red Raiders have the benefit of playing in one of the major conferences, and that will certainly give them an edge over the teams from the lesser conferences.
Well, they won't have to wait much longer. In just minutes, the whole country will know who's in and who's out. With that, let's get right to it and unveil this year's #1 seeds in the NCAA tournament. The Connecticut Huskies are the top overall seed who will play in the Washington, D.C. regional. They come into the tournament on a major roll. They've been at the top of the media poll for the entire season. We'll soon find out if they can carry that momentum over into March Madness. On to the second #1 seed who will play in the Atlanta Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are trying to win their 4th NCAA championship in school history. The Arizona Wildcats are the third #1 seed, and they'll play in the Minneapolis Regional. They're obviously no stranger to postseason play, with the experience of last year's NCAA tournament appearance still fresh in the minds of the veteran players. And finally, our 4th and last #1 seed will play in the Oakland Regional. The Maryland Terrapins are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the first time in the history of their program. That's one happy group. Getting a top seed is definitely worth celebrating. That's just what they're going to do. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the Washington, D.C. Regional will play the winner of the Atlanta Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Minneapolis Regional will play the winner of the Oakland Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 1st. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 3rd. We now know who the #1 seeds are. What do you think?
There are a few other teams there that could make a claim to a top seed, but the selection committee's opinion is the only one that matters, so they're just going to have to accept what the committee has decided.
So, with the #1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. We look first at the Washington, D.C. Regional. The Connecticut Huskies are the top seed, finishing at 29-3, winners of the Big East Conference regular season. They'll take on the winner of the opening round game, the Albany Great Danes, with 14 wins, take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs out of the MEAC. And now the #8 seed and winners of their conference tournament. They're going to play the #9 seed, the Brigham Young Cougars, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 17-10. The South Carolina Gamecocks enter the field as the #4 seed, coming out of the SEC. This will be their 8th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the #13 seed. The Trojans of Arkansas Little Rock finished the season with 16 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Sun Belt Conference. The Alabama Crimson Tide come in as the #5 seed. This is their 4th trip in a row to the NCAA tournament. And they will take on the 12th seed out of the Big Sky Conference. The Northern Arizona Lumberjacks are their conference tournament winners and have become hot at the perfect time of the season. We'll see if they can keep it up. Next up is the #2 seed. The Texas Longhorns are the regular season champions of the Big 12. They'll be going up against the #15 seed, the Blue Devils of Central Connecticut State, with 18 wins. This will be their 2nd appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. Our #7 seed is out of the A-10. The Xavier Musketeers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the #10 seed, the Houston Cougars, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 19-9. And now the #3 seed, the Georgetown Hoyas, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. As you can see, the celebration is on. A great moment for this team and their fans. The Harvard Crimson come in to face them at #14 with 15 wins and an Ivy League regular season championship. The Washington Huskies are in as the #6 seed. They earned their 2nd trip in a row to the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on the #11 seed. The Virginia Tech Hokies come in as an at-large bid out of the ACC. I always like to look down the road and try to find the most intriguing matchups in the later rounds, and this bracket could give us one of those. A pairing of the top 2 seeds in this bracket's regional final would be just an awesome game, and I think it's going to happen. What do you think about that one, Clark?
The Georgetown Hoyas are fresh off the championship of one of the toughest conference tournaments in all of college basketball. And you can't underestimate the effect that has on the confidence of these young men. I'm sure they're thinking that anything is possible right now. I think you've definitely got to look at them as one of the most dangerous teams in the entire field.
Next up, we'll take a look at the Atlanta Regional. The Duke Blue Devils are the top seed, finishing at 25-6, winners of the ACC Conference regular season. They'll take on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks, the number 16 ranked team all time in the NCAA tournament. And now, the number 8 seed, the Pittsburgh Panthers, come into the tournament as the 9th place team in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. And check out the happy scene as their place in the brackets is confirmed. Looks like it's party time. The Air Force Falcons come in to face them at number 9 with 18 wins and the chance to prove they belong in the discussion of the nation's best team. The Miami Hurricanes come in as the number 4 seed. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. And they'll take on the 13th seed out of the West Coast Conference. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are their conference tournament winners. The Providence Friars enter the field as the number 5 seed, coming out of the Big East. This is their 15th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Northern Iowa Panthers. Finished the season with 18 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Missouri Valley Conference. Our number 2 seed is out of the ACC. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Delaware Blue Hens, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-14. Next up is the number 7 seed. The UNLV Runnin' Rebels have established themselves as one of the best teams out of the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Utah State Aggies, with 22 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. The Louisville Cardinals are in as the number 3 seed. They earn their 3rd consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed. The Titans of Cal State Fullerton come in as tournament champions of the Big West Conference. And now the number 6 seed, the San Diego State Aztecs, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, finishing at 14-14. Well, I think there's the potential for some very interesting matchups down the road in this bracket. There are some strong teams in there, no doubt about that, and we could wind up with some games that look more like Final Four matchups than regional games. Anything special that jumps out at you in that bracket?
The Duke Blue Devils are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put their front court up against just about any other teams in the nation right now. It's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
Our 3rd regional breakdown of the day. Let's take a look at the Minneapolis Regional. The Arizona Wildcats are the top seed, finishing at 23-8. Winners of the Pac-10 Conference regular season and tournament title. They'll take on the Phoenix of Wisconsin Green Bay, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 8 seed is out of the Big 12. The Oklahoma State Cowboys were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 18-10. The Illinois Fighting Illini enter the field as the number 4 seed, coming out of the Big Ten. This marks their 25th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs, who finished the season with 20 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Atlantic Sun Conference. The Kentucky Wildcats are in as the number 5 seed. This will continue their tremendous run of consecutive tournament appearances. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles, come in as tournament champions of the Mid-Continent Conference. And now the number 2 seed, the Boston College Eagles, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and finish 2nd in their conference tournament. Let the party begin. They celebrate their place in the brackets with the whole country watching. The Southern Jaguars come in to face them at number 15 with 15 wins and a SWAC Conference Tournament Championship behind them. Next up is the number 7 seed. The DePaul Blue Demons have established themselves as one of the best teams out of the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, with 16 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. And now the number 3 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, come into the tournament 6th in their conference during the regular season and winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Northwestern State Demons, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 15-12. The Charlotte 49ers come in as the number 6 seed. They earned their 2nd trip in a row to the NCAA tournament. And they take on the 11th seed out of Conference USA. The Alabama Birmingham Blazers are their conference tournament winners and have become hot at the perfect time of the season. We'll see if they can keep it up. Right away, it looks to me like this bracket could have some of the teams you look at as possible sleepers. It's always tough to pin down who's going to pull the upsets, but I'll go out on a limb and say there are going to be lower seeds that make some noise here. What do you think about that one, Clark?
The Oklahoma State Cowboys have been here before and know how to win in the tournament, so they have a very good chance to go a long way. The memory of their last trip to the Final Four is still fresh in their minds, and you can't put a price on that kind of experience, even for the guys who were just watching from the bench last time around. I think that gives them a huge edge.
The last but definitely not the least regional on the list, we'll take a look at the Oakland Regional. The Maryland Terrapins are the top seed, finishing at 22-8. Runners-up of the ACC, they'll take on the High Point Panthers, the number 16 ranked team ever in the NCAA tournament. Next up is the number 8 seed. The New Mexico Lobos are the regular season champions of the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the USC Trojans, with 18 wins. This is their 12th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. And now the number 4 seed, the North Carolina Tar Heels, come into the tournament 6th in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. And check out the happy scene as their place in the brackets is confirmed. Looks like it's party time. The Ball State Cardinals come in to face them at number 13 with 18 wins and a Mid-American Conference tournament championship behind them. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights come in as the number 5 seed. This is their 6th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. And they will take on the 12th seed out of the Patriot League. The Holy Cross Crusaders are their conference tournament winners. The Villanova Wildcats enter the field as the number 2 seed, coming out of the Big East. This will be their 26th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Iona Gales finished the season with 17 wins. They're the tournament champions of the Metro Atlantic Conference. And now the number 7 seed, the Michigan State Spartans, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the UCLA Bruins, who were 6th in their conference, finishing at 17-14. The LSU Tigers are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed. The Davidson Wildcats come in as tournament champions of the Southern Conference. Our number 6 seed is out of the Big Ten. The Indiana Hoosiers come into the NCAA tournament as winners of their regular season and conference tournament championships. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Duquesne Dukes, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 18-11. Certainly looks to me that this bracket is going to be the strongest of the 4. They have several teams I think are capable not only getting to the Final Four, but of winning it all. And even some of the lower seeds here have the potential to advance. This is a really deep, really difficult bracket. Well, Clark, what's your impression of the teams in the final bracket?
The Maryland Terrapins suffered a big upset in their conference tournament, but they've got to leave that behind them. Sometimes getting a loss like that out of the way before the NCAA tournament can actually help you. It can relieve some pressure and help the players get their focus back.
There's no more need for talk. Now we have all the facts. Tell us what you think about the tournament's top 16 seeds.
Well, I have to admit, for once, these seeds look pretty good to me. I think the selection committee really got it right this time. The Arizona Wildcats are probably the number 1 seed in my mind that is most vulnerable. If I had to pick one of the top seeds that's ripe for an upset, I'd have to say it's going to be them. Clearly, the selection committee feels the best conference in the country is the ACC. They've got more teams in the top 16 than any other conference, and that says an awful lot about the quality of this league from top to bottom.
Now, let's look at the breakdown by conference. The Big East gets 10 teams. The ACC with 8. 5 out of the Mountain West Conference. The Pac-10 gets 4 teams. The SEC with 4. 4 out of the Big Ten.
Boy, what a real down year for the mid-majors. None of those conferences stands out. We're used to seeing quite a few of those teams, but not this year.
What a shame there are so few small conference schools in the tournament. The most any of those conferences got in was 1 team. It's really hard to believe.
I can't believe there's only 2 teams out of Conference USA. What a disappointing year for that conference. The balance of power is cyclical. It shifts amongst the major conferences, and they better hope it's going to swing back in their favor soon.
We talked about the bubble teams earlier. Now, let's check back on them and see who got their ticket punched. What do you think of the list now, Clark?
The Houston Cougars are in certainly because of their ability, but some folks might think it's because of their status as a major conference team. I know the teams from the smaller conferences don't like to hear that, but sometimes that's just the way it is.
Absolutely, and I know we have a few more teams on the list that are celebrating.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish can finally exhale. I don't think there was a lot of doubt that they'd make it, but we've seen good teams get left out before, and you just know this was a nerve-wracking day for this squad. Well, we know there are a few teams on the other side of the equation that weren't too thrilled to get the bad news today. The Nevada Wolfpack probably lost out because of their terrible strength of schedule. They didn't really play anybody of quality. They simply did not play enough difficult games, and you're not going to cope in with a soft schedule.
Not a happy day on that campus, that's for sure, but they'll have some company when it comes to watching the tournament on television this year.
The Clemson Tigers have an advantage on paper over at least a few teams that did get in, but unfortunately for them, the selection process isn't all about how a team looks on paper.
Well, partner, I think we're ready to start the real show. What do you say?
Well, Greg, that sounds good to me. I think it's going to be an incredible tournament. I can't wait until we actually throw the ball up in the air and get these games started.
So for my partner, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of us here in the studio, I'm Greg Gumbel signing off. Now, let the madness begin.
Let's go! What a dream come true here in the 2006 season. The Duquesne Dukes go into their first NCAA tournament since the 1977 season, and we enter as the number 11 seed. We're going to be taking on the Indiana Hoosiers, the number 6 seed. Here we go. What a dream come true. Got to be playing in the big dance here. No one thought we were going to be making it here from outside of ourselves, and shocking everyone here, going through that A10 tournament run, upset after upset, finding a way, come from behind, stun people, and make ourselves in here. Dream come true, taking on Indiana in the first round. No matter what happens, it's a historic season for Duquesne. It's a fantastic run here in March already. Just gotta see how far we can keep this going, keep playing with everything we got, keep playing our hearts out. We've already done Pittsburgh very proud. Pittsburgh's going to be getting 2 teams in the tournament here. The Pitt Panthers go in as well. For the Atlantic 10, they're going to be getting 3 teams in the big dance. Going to be Xavier, Charlotte, and Duquesne. Here we are, the Bracket Busters, 18 and 11. Going to the NCAA tournament. Let's go, Duquesne.